Alright, well, welcome back to part 2 of the question. Now, the question had his views on right and wrong, good and evil was very black and white, very white hats, black hats. And, evil people do evil things. Well, this was true up until he returned to Hub City, which had now become just a festering pool of, excuse me, just kind of this festering pool of crime that rivaled Gotham as the most unsafe and criminally infested town in the U.S. So, on his return, he met with a woman named Lady Shiva, who beat the living crap out of him. And then she let her minions beat the ever-loving crap out of him. And then let one of the minions shoot him in the head with a pellet gun. And then drop into the river. However, Lady Shiva did something very interesting. She actually saved him from the river and pretty much said, look, when you're able to stand and are no longer, you don't need the bed any longer, need to stay in bed any longer, look for Richard Dragon. Well, a question at this time was kind of, questioning all of this. And this is when Batman came and said, look, you're just a punk. You're just a vigilante punk. Which, the question took this pretty harshly, but decided that the best thing for him to do would be to, once he was able to, stand, he would go and search for this Richard Dragon, which he does. And when he finds him, he spends 1 year training in martial arts and whatnot, and comes up with a new philosophy that crime isn't just black and white, that criminals aren't just evil. There's more to it. It's more gray than it is black and white. So then the question finally returns to Hub City, and which, while he's there, he once again, it's a festering pool of evil. But this time, instead of just going after street punks, he actually starts going after the big cats that are causing the corruption. And so the question then, is taking on crime bosses and things like that. Which he meets up with an old girl, or an old acquaintance that he had a love affair with, somewhat, which is Myra, who is now married to the corrupt and alcoholic mayor. And due to the fact that the mayor started becoming kind of nutty and criminally insane, Myra decided that she would run for mayor and ask for the help of the question, or the support of the question. Now, Question actually wanted to get back with Myra, but Myra, well, or not the Question, excuse me, but Vet. However, Myra said no, it would not be right. I'm in a loveless relationship, but I can't cheat on my husband. But she finally gives in to temptation and not only sleeps with Victor, but also sleeps with the Question. But, they're the same guy, so I guess it's not really cheating, but Moira thought it was, because she didn't know that it was, in fact, the Question. And so, when it came to the voting day, when the Question forgot to cast his vote, and guess what happened? Moira lost by 1 vote. So the Question would have casted his vote, Moira would have become mayor. However, she was elected mayor due to the fact that the person that was elected mayor was killed in the what was called the worst tornado in history. In any case, On her inaugural speech, she is shot in the stomach by her own husband for spouting off quote-unquote communist ideas. And he finally dies in a shootout with the police. Now, Moira is then rendered comatose in the hospital, and Hub City just goes crazy with crime. And this starts taking its toll on, in fact, the Question. Because he's now having to, fight all this crime, and he's starting to kind of lose his identity. However, he gets some help with Richard Dragon and Lady Shiva. But nevertheless, he starts still kind of losing himself. And when Moira finally came back, he decided that, it was he was starting to worry that he was going to do something that he would regret. So he decided that he was going to leave Hub City, which in all actuality, Richard Dragon, Shiva, Tot, and even Moira were all in favor for, due to the fact of all the things that he had done, and the fact that they didn't want their city's hero to turn into a murderer. But, however, for a strange twist of events, Moira asks the Question, who she now knows as Victor as well, to take her baby, Jackie, away from it. And Moira decides to go back and fulfill her duties as mayor for her town. Now, Vic went to South America to get away from the crime and whatnot, and try to find a society that didn't have it. Well, he picked the wrong place to go. He went to South America, one of the most criminally infested places in the world. And he actually gets involved in a drug war. And here's the thing. To save Jackie's life, he killed a man. And he came to the slow realization that he wasn't bothered by the fact that he killed somebody. And the fact that he wasn't bothered by killing someone bothered him. Because he knew he would do it again, especially if he needed to. Especially to keep Jackie alive. Unfortunately, Jackie died en route to her mother. So it was kind of pointless. But in any case, it's also somewhat tragic. Any case, that's it for part 2. Stay tuned for part 3 of this Question night class. See you guys then.